بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. So today, inshallah, I want to talk about one of the gifts from the many gifts that Hassan Allahyari gave to us in the recent debate that I had, or discussion debate, whatever you want to call it, that I had with him. And inshallah, this is a gift from Hassan Allahyari to every Sunni, and also inshallah a chance for the Rafida, for the Twelvers, to maybe, if you're open-minded inshallah and you want to use your brains, to see maybe why I say that Twelverism is false, and for you to see also why Twelverism is false, inshallah. Inshallah, I'm going to give you guys two clips that every Sunni should download and use against the Rafida. If you ever have any polemical discussions with them, especially for the Rafida who say that Hassan Allahyari is justified in not debating me. Ultimately, that's what I want, right? I mean, actually, no, I take it back. Ultimately, what I want is for Twelverism to die out. And I think one of the ways of doing that is having a debate with Hassan Allahyari, where, you know, the truth becomes exposed in 4 hours, where it's just cope after cope after cope. And you guys, inshallah, see where the truth lies. But I digress. But yeah, so there's two clips, inshallah. Yeah. So a couple of videos prior on my YouTube, I posted a clip on, I think it's titled something to the effect of like, how to refute any Rafidi in 2 minutes, like no knowledge required, right? Something like that. And the question that I essentially bring is, show me proof of 12 infallible imams, right? From Sunni books. And so the question becomes, is it justified to ask for only Sunni books, right? So according to Hassan Allahyari, it is. So I'm going to play a clip shortly. But essentially, I bring Hadith al-Afdaliyah to Hassan Allahyari, right? Proving that it's tawatur. It's one of the most mutawatir hadiths used in polemics, right? And tons of authentic chains for this. They meet all the criteria of tawatur, right? So there's multiplicity of narrators at every layer in the sort of chain tree, and yeah, it's clearly an authentic narration. And Hassan Allahyari, he uses actually multiple different copes. He cycles through a bunch of copes. There's like 3 categories of them, right? So one is like he tries to refute it with an ahad narration of something else, so like Muslim 1757c. I think like the allegedly Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu like abandoning the battlefield or something like that, and then 2 sort of more intellectual responses, which are still easily dismissed, inshallah. But let's go ahead and play the first one, right? Let's see Hassan Allahyari's attempt to refute or negate the tawatur of Hadith al-Afdaliyah.
That's fine. If you want to say Ali,
no, we don't believe Ali alayhi said such a thing.
But it's mutawatir. It's impossible. According to you, it's impossible. Even if it's narrated by kuffar, it's impossible for such a thing to have been fabricated. Impossible.
Show me in Shia books. Show me in Shia books.
What? No.
Show me in Shia books. Show me in Shia books. If it's mutawatir, why Shias do not narrate this? You understand? You understand? Hold on. You understand?
Impossible.
Show me in Shia books. Show me in Shia books.
What? No.
Show me in Shia books. Show me in Shia books. If it's mutawatir, why Shias do not narrate? If it's mutawatir, why Shias do not narrate?
All right. So Hassan Allahyari's response is what? Show me in Shia books. Show me in Shia books. طيب. If a hadith does not appear universally in all sects' books or in your sect's book, then this negates tawatur. Yes. Okay. Hassan Allahyari tried to first show me proof of 12 infallible imams because of alleged tawatur, right? Because it appears in this one book. And again, kind of off topic, but Farid responded to this, and it's a common sense response, right? Like, you can't have 100 chains being 100 chains if they're all narrated in one book, right? Because it's one book. They go through the author, right? So ultimately it's one account. And in fact, with the case that he brought, Allahyari brought it. That is actually what happened, right? So the author clearly just sat down and wholesale fabricated hundreds of chains. But again, that's off topic, right? So the issue here is it legitimate to bring tawatur from your sect alone? According to Hassan Allahyari, it's not, right? So and we know this, right? That the proof for 12 infallible imams only exists in the books of the Twelvers, right? And so yeah, that ultimately that destroys any claims for tawatur of the 12 infallible imams, right? And B, that basically destroys any path of making this claim be hujjah on you. So yeah, for Sunnis, definitely download that clip and use it, inshallah, against the Twelvers. And for the Twelvers, you use your brains, right? I want to show another clip, and this one, inshallah, is the more interesting one. And this one, I think there's actually some legitimacy to. So yeah, let's go ahead and play that clip.
How many books? Because you understand that there, amongst your own scholars, there's a big dispute. Not Shia, just among your own scholars. There's a big dispute who was afdal after the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Just the Umari scholars themselves.
Actually, there's not.
There is quite a bit of many of his scholars who believe that Amir al-Mu'minin was afdal than Abu Bakr and Umar. Lots of tabi'in, even today, lots of scholars believe that. Okay, if you're not informed of that, so if you claim that this is mutawatir, this is your misunderstanding. Send it to me, inshallah, tabarak wa ta'ala, and I have a look at it. Okay.
Today, lots of scholars believe that. Okay, if you're not informed of that, so if you claim that this is mutawatir, this is your misunderstanding.
Yeah. So this one's interesting, right? So he says, he brings up the topic of khilaf on the question of tafdeel of Ali ibn Abi Talib radiyallahu anhu above the ikhtilaf, the difference of opinion on his status relative to the status of Abu Bakr and Umar radiyallahu anhuma. And so the claim, essentially, is that khilaf on this issue means that tawatur is impossible. Now, in this case, it actually doesn't work, right? Because first of all, it's a very minority opinion, right? But even for those minority people who did historically hold to this view, which I don't know that there's actually a lot of evidence of. He didn't provide any evidence for it. But let's assume that there were people who believed that Ali radiallahu anhu was better than Abu Bakr and Umar radiallahu anhuma. Saying that this negates tawatur doesn't make sense, because the argument implicitly is saying that, these people were not familiar with the narration, and if it was truly mass transmitted, then they would have been familiar with it. Well, first of all, this is not an issue of something that's ma'luma min ad-din bid-darura, right? So it's not some kind of thing that you have to know by necessity. Secondly, even if these alleged scholars, and he's referring to Sunni scholars here, right? Even if these alleged Sunni scholars were familiar with the narration, because they're Sunni, they did not affirm the infallibility of Ali radiallahu anhu. So even if they knew that Ali held this position, that doesn't necessarily mean that they had to agree with him on it, right? So they could have easily known that this was the position of Ali and said, yeah, well, he was wrong. He was actually better than Abu Bakr and Umar radiallahu anhu. So that explains why it doesn't work. But that's not the best part. The best part is how we can flip this back on the Rafida. We can flip this back on the Twelvers. And for the Twelvers watching, inshallah, I want you guys to use your brains, please. Allah gave you a brain. I want you to use it, right? Think about this. And Hassan Allahyari's point is actually kind of makes sense, right? So I want to introduce you guys to this book, right? This is called Schisms of the Shia, right, by Abdullah Rabat, hafidhahullah. And he so we have this misconception, right, that Shiism was this one group of people throughout history who were these sort of they believed that Ali radiallahu anhu should have been the Khalifa. There's a lot more nuance to that. Shia history is extremely rich, right? And so throughout history, and it's not even fair to say that there were 3 Shia sects, right? Zaydis, Ismailis, and Twelvers. Those are the sects which have survived till today and are the majority today. But historically, that is absolutely not the case, right? So there's pages and pages, and I'm not exaggerating here, hundreds of sects of Shias, right? Throughout history, right? And we can just go through page by page by page of like after every imam dies, right? His followers splinter off into various sects. For each of his children, they essentially ascribe imama to him, right? And just look at this, right? So like I can go through at random, right? So Muhammad ibn al-Hanafiya, he had a Shia, right? And they were from the Shia of Ali, right? So he's one of the children of Ali radiallahu anhu. You have Abdullah al-Aftah, the Fathiyya, the Qat'iyya, the Waqifiyya, the Ismailiyya, the let's see, we have the Ja'fariyya, the followers of Ja'far, whom the Rafida 12er Nawasib call Ja'far al-Kadhab. And essentially, after every imam dies, for each of his kids, essentially there's a following that they get, and some people who claim that this imam is actually the imam. And so if khilaf breaks the concept of tawatur, believe me, that's a lot worse for you than it is for us, because in our case, at best, you have a fringe minority who held one opposing viewpoint from the orthodox position, right? Oh, is it Ali or Abu Bakr and Umar, right? There's like there's a dichotomy there, right? With you guys, there's no dichotomy. There's like hundreds of different opinions, right? Hundreds of different opinions. It only consolidates, hundreds of years later. Another great book, and I used this to study for my debate with Silverado on the four deputies. He goes over the pandemonium that arose throughout the Imami community, but specifically the Shia of Hassan al-Askari, when Hassan al-Askari died without having a son, right? And so I think Edmund Hayes cites a number of sources, including Firaq al-Shia by al-Nawbakhti, who's a 12er scholar, by the way, who notes no less than 14 different sects, 14 different solutions to the problem of Hassan al-Askari dying without a son and not having a successor, right? And so one of them, obviously the one that survives, is the 12er sect today, which, he had a son that nobody ever saw. He went into ghaiba for 1 billion years, and he's going to come out one day, apparently. But there were a number of other solutions posed to that, right? And this book kind of goes into, where the deputies fall into all of that mess and how that story sort of evolved over time. But yeah, there's really no there's no solution to these problems, right? What is this something that was made qat'i by the imams or by the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? And if so, why is there so much khilaf? Like, just think about it, right? Now, the common answer that you're gonna get if you bring this up to a 12er is, oh well, you guys have 4 madhahib, and you guys have ikhtilaf on certain parts of the salah. Is that analogous? Well, actually, it's not, right? Because the khilaf in the case of these fiqh issues started to occur hundreds of years after the death of the Prophet ﷺ, who is our last infallible, right? When it comes to ikhtilaf over who the imam is, right, or that happens concurrently with existing infallible imams, right? So just famously, after as-Sadiq dies, you have groups of the majority actually following the Fathiyya, Abdullah al-Aftah, right? The majority of Ja'far Shia followed the wrong imam, right? And then you had people following Ismail. That's all concurrent to an actual infallible imam, Musa al-Kadhim, right? Who's allegedly infallible. While the infallible is living, right, there's people who can't determine if he's infallible or not. You have narrations in the 12er sources, right? Allegedly, there's tawatur nas for Musa, right? According to Allahyari, according to these guys, there's mutawatir nas. That's the only way that can be hujjah on you. That's the only way that it can be hujjah on you as a Sunni is if there's tawatur, right? Otherwise, it's, your books, my books, ahad, it's dhanni, I don't care about it, right? The only way that it's hujjah on you is if it's tawatur. This fact, which is, this lie, which allegedly has tawatur, the Shia, the majority of the Shia of Ja'far are not able to figure out after Ja'far dies. They have to go around quizzing the descendants of Ja'far. Oh, are you the imam? Are you the imam? They imagine quizzing closing all these candidates to find out who the infallible imam is. And actually, that's another thing that they go over in this book, right? But like, yeah, I mean, this is the logic of Allahyari, and it actually makes sense, right? So for the Twelvers, use your brain. Allah gave you a brain. Be open-minded. Be honest. It doesn't benefit me if you become Sunni, right? I don't get a cut of some kind of commission fee or anything. It benefits you. Use your brain. Be sincere. And if you're the kind of person who, khalas, I don't care, what the truth is. I'm going to follow the original of my parents. And there's nothing really I can say. But if you want to be honest, right? Think about it. And I'd love to hear your responses, right? So I'm available on Discord. You can come, inshallah. I'll put, a link to a Discord, the Discord server that I'm in the description of this video. Come in, ping super.omar. Let's have a conversation, right? I mean, what I suspect is you're going to leave an angry comment. Why do you guys, have ikhtilaf on, rafa al-yadayn? Or why do you guys have ikhtilaf on, qabd versus sadl? If you want to have those conversations, come, let's have them on Discord, inshallah. I can record it, we can post it. I won't interrupt you. It'll be a fair conversation, inshallah. Let's have a conversation. Unless you're afraid that, that I'm going to be able to respond and then you're not going to be able to respond to my response. Allahu alam. But I think it's an interesting conversation to have, and I think it's something to think about. And yeah. Also one more thing. I forgot to mention. Another gift. We have writings of Ayatollah Asif Muhsini and Ayatollah Al-Khou'i, the teacher of Sayyid Sistani, Ayatollah Sayyid Sistani. These two people have some thoughts on the alleged tawatur of 12 infallible imams. I'm going to go ahead and display those on screen, inshallah. But yeah, I mean, think about it, right? Like, even your scholars are admitting this. And I'm not trying to, like, put your scholars in your face, right? But I do want you guys to think about it. Just think about it, right? Like, first of all, is it a problem if there's no tawatur for your imams? If it's ahad, then why do you believe in this? Like, what is the reason for believing in it? Is it just that you were born 12er, therefore 12er books are hujj on you and you have to accept every khabar ahad narration in 12er books? Allahu alam. If that's the way you want to live your life and that's the way you want to face Allah on the Day of Judgment, be my guest. But I'd love to talk to you on Discord, inshallah, and see your reasons. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
وقل جاء الحق وزهق الباطل إن الباطل كان زهوقا